Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, great for recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. And guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means share it with anybody you think might get something out of it. Other than that, how we all doing today, guys? Some semblance of normalcy today. Got up, like I said, it felt good to take the day off yesterday. I did do a little bit of service work in the afternoon, but got up this morning, back to the gym, felt good. Went and got half of the bigger job that I need to have done by the end of the weekend done. I've got that somebody scheduled coming in Saturday, and we may have to split. I may have to leave him there while I go do something else. Either way, we'll figure it out. Something new today. My buddy Doug called and let me know that he had called the other bank that we use for the commercial mortgages and put me on as a authorized signer because we've been talking, and as soon as we do the project we're starting now, the next project I get to buy in on. And it may not be to the end of this year because we're going to finish this one, but still, I'm going to be a half owner. He gave me the option, asked me if I want to just own a home or do I want to invest, and I said no, I absolutely eventually I want to have some rental properties. Obviously that's my goal, but I would very much love to do a condo flip. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to find a good 2 or 3 family as close, we're going to be out in Medford, Everett, Chelsea, because they're getting really expensive here, but whatever. And I'm excited for that. But then further, by putting me in as an authorized signer, he let me know he needed me to go to the office and write a $75,000 check and then go deposit it in the other account. And just, not a big deal. I know it just, I write checks for him all the time, but the trust. Inviting me down to Florida on him, even though he knows I could afford it. Just guys, when you work a recovery program, if you put everything into it, like I'm trying to, not that I'm perfect, but I'm doing my best, you will be shocked before you're halfway through at the changes in your life, and I am every day. There's multiple times a week where I'm just bewildered by the responsibility I get and my ability to handle it, and just I see it as just gratitude. Like, you can come back from anything if you're willing to do the work, and that's the that's really the beauty of recovery, guys. Follow the program and just be your best self, and you can literally overcome and make amends for anything you've done wrong, and get back. And anything you don't get back is because it wasn't meant for you, but you'll get back something better, or whatever it is that is really in alignment for you. And if I wasn't in recovery, none of these things would be going on. So we're going to talk about living life. I get to live life without remorse today, guys. I jumped the gun a little bit there. I live a very remorseless life where my life in active addiction was nothing but remorse and despair. I don't have to live in remorse today, guys. When I make mistakes, I make amends. When I look at my history, the best amends I can make is living clean today and trying to help as many people as I can. But I had to make a lot of direct amends early on, and I did so publicly here on video quite often. Anyway, we're going to talk about remorse today, guys. It's the title of the reading. It's the Just for Today NA meditation. Remorse. The 8th step offers a big change from a life dominated by guilt and remorse. Remorse was one of the feelings that kept us using. We had stumbled our way through active addiction, leaving a trail of heartbreak and devastation too painful to consider. Our remorse was often intensified by our perception that we could not do anything about the damage we had caused. There was no way to make it right. Well, we remove some of the power of remorse when we face it squarely. We begin the 8th step by actually making a list of all the people we had harmed. We own our part in our painful past. But the 8th step does not ask us to make right all of our mistakes. That would be impossible. Merely to become willing to make amends to all those people. As we become willing to clean up the damage, as we become willing to clean up all the damage we caused, we acknowledge our readiness to change. We affirm the healing process of recovery. Sorry, guys, my hands are a little beat up. My writing's a little tough today. Remorse is no longer an instrument we use to torture ourselves. Remorse has become a tool we can use to achieve self-forgiveness. Guys, I talked about that from day one. Self-forgiveness is so important. If you don't learn to forgive yourself, A, you can't change your behaviors, and B, you'll never stop moving forward. Yes, we suffer from addiction. Let me get through. The affirmation is just for today. I will use my feelings of remorse I may have as a stepping stone to healing through working the 12 steps recovery. And all right, now, as I was saying, guys, we remorse is there to let us know we're doing wrong. Okay, so we acknowledge it, we accept it, we change our behaviors. And again, part of the 12 steps is the eighth step is making a list of all the people who would be harmed and becoming willing to make amends. You do so whenever it's appropriate, when it's not going to hurt somebody, when it's going to help you move forward. And that's what it's for at the end of the day, guys. Yes. And literally, that's who it's for at the end of the day. It's not about making right every mistake, guys. We're all human. We all make mistakes, whether you're in active addiction or not. It's about the change in behavior and then the self-respect that comes with that. This program is geared to giving you a life back, giving you the ability to live in society, be proud of yourself, to move forward. You can't do those things if you're just being held back by the bag of rocks that guilt and remorse is. You can't let go of those things unless you stop doing them, first of all. So, we change our behaviors. We get clean. We start making, we start working our steps. We start living a good life. Most of the time, in the early days, when I tried to make direct amends to family and friends that I loved, every one of them to a T was like, you've already done it. Stay clean. Be here for us. Be a part of our lives. And that's all the amends. Anybody that truly loves you and cares for you. I mean, unless, obviously, guys, if you owe somebody money, you totaled somebody's car, you stole a vehicle, these things, yeah, we got to make physical amends for. You have legal obligations, sure, you're going to have to take care of them, but we get through them. And you don't have to do it alone. If you have a recovery program, there'll be people there to support you. I'm always here. Drop me a comment, email. We're here for each other, right? But again, my point being, we make amends first and foremost by getting off the drugs, stopping those behaviors. And it's not just putting down the drugs. It's acknowledging what we've done, looking at the patterns, what got us there, how do we end up in these predicaments. And most often we're going to find we're manipulating for drugs. But there's always underlying traumas and just reasons that we were susceptible to addiction. So we work on those things. We start the healing process. That's the beauty, guys. And these are things that were so foreign to me. Like, I used to think, oh, I'm a man. I gotta put on this front. I'm not allowed to hurt. I'm not allowed to acknowledge that I need healing. And because of those things, guys, I was walking around like a caveman and going backwards and never able to get out of my own way. This time around, I understood that no, I'm not, I can't carry the world on my shoulders, and if I try to, I'm going to end up buried in the mud every single time. And it's just a fact of life. So I reached out for help. First and foremost, God. I said a prayer that night and asked God to let me walk in His light, and boom, immediately something clicked in my heart. Something changed. I started feeling it, and that was tough because I was still in a world of shit at that point. I was still deep in a pit. So those feelings were painful. They needed to be. I needed to. And the guys, it was funny. Not funny. I say funny now. I thought I was losing my mind at the time. I would do all the drugs in the world, and I couldn't numb out the feelings like I was. And that's all I was doing. It was just numbing feelings. And suddenly I couldn't anymore. So I had to start acknowledging them and facing them and coming to the hard, obvious conclusions that I couldn't continue doing what I was doing. It was nothing short of miraculous that I was still alive and still whole. Though I was a fraction of the whole that I am today. But I surrendered. I went to rehab. I got the help I needed. And I started latching on and listening and participating instead of just sitting in the back of the room and pissing and moaning and waiting for the next step. No, I understood. And that's what I always do, guys. When I get through here, when I'm always making plans to get out of. No, I started paying attention to what I had in front of me every day, and that's literally the most important thing I can convey in recovery is live in the moment. Work on what you have in your hands, what's in front of you right now. Let go of what happened yesterday and quit worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow and just make the best of today. It's where all your happiness is. It's where all of your ability is. It's where all your power is, and it's where you can set tomorrow up and you can get over yesterday. Use your past as a compass to keep you from going backwards, not an anchor holding you in despair. You do that by start righting your wrongs, right? And again, wherever you are in the spectrum, early recovery, midway, I'm just starting to work the steps. Officially, I've been working in my life, and I've done it in the past, and I've gone through it, but I haven't officially gone through it yet this time around. But I work these lessons every day, and I work the steps of my life every day. And lo and behold, I'm hitting milestones every day that I never thought I could. Doug and I, just having the conversation this morning, like he knows that I've saved what I've saved. He knows what I want to do with it. He's ready to meet me halfway. He's so excited by it that he wants me. And this is just somebody I met 10 years ago. And I was telling my brothers yesterday, I truly thank God for the day I met this man. Best friend, my landlord, my best customer. I run his business for him, and it's just it's amazing. Like when I look at how many stars and how many different things had to factor in. Guys, I met him by shoveling snow in a snowstorm back in 2017, and I just did a good job shoveling. That's what I mean, guys. Like, you never know who is going to see what you're doing when you go the extra mile, and I just worked harder, was quieter, and just did a better job. Like, I wasn't trying to show off. I just got into a halfway house, and didn't know this guy from Adam, didn't know anything about him, but I got an opportunity to go work and put some money in my pocket after being homeless for 4 years, so I worked hard. 10 years later, he's my best friend. He's my biggest customer. He's my biggest supporter. They're family to me today, literally, because I did the right thing 10 years ago once. And then when I started working for him, God put him in my life so I could help him. He could help me, right? God will do these things for you when you work a recovery program. And and it's been so fast-tracked these last 14 months because I've truly, truly surrendered, truly put my recovery first. Truly started chasing my recovery as hard as I chased the drugs, and that was a promise I made myself because I was sitting there starting to pray, starting to meditate, starting to take these lessons in, and trying to figure out why I'd failed so many times in the past, and it's amazing the information and the conclusions you come to just by being introspective instead of ignoring everything. And that's all I did. I'm not calling anybody else out, but my biggest problem was I would repeat the patterns because I didn't acknowledge the patterns. I didn't acknowledge my thought, my feelings, my mistakes, my actions. The 12 steps of recovery are a perfect program to get you to be able to acknowledge and see all these things, then put them past you, put them behind you, and move past them is what I'm trying to say. Sorry. And they just work. Like, I'm not over here, for once in my life, I'm not trying to pick apart the program. I'm trying to pick apart my actions, my thought patterns, my mistakes, my successes, so I can see what I did right, what led me to go in the direction to do right, what decisions did I make. And it comes down to my feelings, my comfort level, my confidence, my knowing I could do the right thing, and then at the end of the day, my actions. Since I've started doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, my baseline, my world has increased. Everything in my world is so much better today. Doesn't mean I don't deal with stress and aggravation, and again, I got people pulling on me from a million different directions. People from my old life calling because I got 3 messages today from somebody I talked about yesterday that I helped out a year ago. I can't. I'm too booked and busy. If I allow myself to get pulled into that nonsense, something bad's going to happen. So yes, there are difficult decisions that we need to make on a daily basis. But you put yourself first, and you make the good choices for the people that are doing good in your life, your recovery network, your friends in recovery, your family, your loved ones, just those that support you, those that are doing the right thing. You got to stop hanging around with the knuckleheads on the block if you want to start doing well, and I accept that today. And yeah, it's not always easy, it's not always convenient, and you're going to occasionally have an uncomfortable conversation, but at the end of the day, I come home and I take my inventory, and there's no question, I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right thing today because I'm working the 12 steps of recovery, because I chase recovery as hard as I chase the drugs. A promise I made myself. I realized early on that no, the only thing excluding me from succeeding was my own willingness to do the work. So I adopted that as my first and foremost, and that was a scary thing, guys. I'm a workaholic, and I had to put something in front of work. I had to quit a job with nothing lined up and be okay with that. But I knew I had to, and I knew I was proving to myself that, okay, if I do this, I take this leap of faith, God's going to provide the right opportunities. And I just went into it blind and believed. And lo and behold, every dream I've ever had is on the fast track to coming true. Having my own business, having resources, having my health, having my strength, having a recovery network around me, having friends that are actually doing the right things and supporting me instead of just taking from me is absolutely beautiful today, guys. My family, my brothers and my sisters in my life every day through text. Like, I wouldn't change a thing today. Again, doesn't mean I don't struggle, doesn't mean it's easy. I'm overwhelmed. But I see that these are choices that I've made to start this business and prove that I can do it right and work hard and grow a business by not cutting any corners. So I take the extra steps every day. But again, as I do, I get more confident, I get more experience, I get more I learn more ways of seeing the good in the stuff that I'm doing and seeing how well it's working in my life. And now I'm starting to see that working the long game instead of just the best thing I ever did was give up that whole need for instant gratification. Learning to quiet my mind, sit with self, look at things long term, start building for the future, even though I keep it in the day, and just doing the right thing and not having to have a reward every minute of every day. Now I've got opportunities to like I said, I'm starting to play the long game. I'm starting to see I'm well on my way to building long term wealth. These are things I used to talk about as a pipe dream. Today they're part of my action plan. What I do every day, and I build towards that every day. I see the results of it every single week when my account balance grows. It's shocking to me where I am today. And again, it was so satisfying when we were talking today, and Doug was telling me how proud of me he is. And what do you want to do? And I'm like, Doug, I'm not nothing yet. I'm not there yet. Like I need to double what I have now. And he was so proud of me for saying that, because at any other point I would have gotten a tenth of what I have now. And I got to do something with this. I got to make a move. No, keep doing the right thing every day and keep building. The longer I do it, the bigger the resources, the bigger a move I can make, and I can actually do something that's life changing, like flip a house, turn a 2-family house into 3 condos, and make a couple $1,000,000 on one deal. Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight. It might take me 2 years to be ready to start it. It might take 2 years to complete the project. The long game. It still put me into millionaire status well within my 5-year goal, right? Guys, it is well worth it. You are worth it. This program works if you work it. Work your program. You are worth it. Guys, that's the video for today. Thank you so much for being here with me. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.